Hey, have you guys ever seen that one SpongeBob episode, Restraining SpongeBob? That episode is about SpongeBob messing up Squidward's life like usual, but in this episode, Squidward has had enough and takes legal action. Because SpongeBob has been a stalker, in previous episodes like Squid's Visit or Boating Buddies. Squidward states in Restraining SpongeBob that if SpongeBob stalks him again, SpongeBob will go to jail. So what does the rest of the episode do now that SpongeBob can't torture Squidward? Oh, I don't know, they use fucking Patrick. The rest of the episode has Patrick stalk Squidward. What does this have to do with my stalker? Because that's what my life is like right now, except the exact opposite actually. Instead of a new stalker going after the same victim, it's for me the same stalker going after a new victim. Today we're going to talk about my cyberstalker, whose name is Alicia Rose Pesci. Now, does that name sound familiar? It should. This is the same stalker that has harassed Mr. Enter for over a year. In April of 2019, he made a video on this stalker. I never heard of Alicia before that video, but let's just say that she refuses to make me forget that video. I will say this right now, if you have the need to go after any person, literally any person, stalk and harass them when you don't know them and you had no personal issues prior to that person, you are a jackass and don't deserve forgiveness, no matter how much you try to improve. Not that Alicia has improved in any single way. I am recording this video on May 12th, 2020, and I am hoping that the video will go up tomorrow. I have a life, and I hate taking time out of my day to make shit like this. The first instance of Alicia going after me is because I apparently made a journal on this bitch. You can check my DVR all you want, but I never did write a journal on her, so I don't know what she's talking about. The first time I ever did mention anything on Alicia was a tweet from April of 2019, but that was to announce that John was being stalked by you. This video had nothing to do with me in question. Alicia causes many worries in me. Maybe I shouldn't be that worried, or I'm not worried enough. It's either or. But I'm going to show you guys every single note that I have saved on this monster. To put it simply, this is the worst person that I have ever dealt with. And keep in mind, I have been raped, groomed, abused, punched, threatened, sued, and bullied in my life by assholes on multiple occasions. Actually, Alicia, those people I can at least call human. You are nothing more than a disgusting monster that is a waste of space. Let's start with when this has been going on. Now, her most recent message to me was this right here from May 8th. You're a goddamn bitch. You know what? Sure, you can say that about me if you want. I don't give a fuck. I deal with shit from my YouTube comments all the time. But look how many times she said this. She commented this in my notes over 30 times. A total of 32 notes with this exact same message appeared in my notes in a time span of under an hour. There is no reason for one single person to send me over 30 notes in under an hour. Do you know how long Alicia has been harassing me? A week? A month maybe? No, 13 straight months. And I've had enough of her today. Now, this isn't the first time that I have thought of making a video on said person. But I didn't prior because it wasn't that much of a problem then. But because the problem has increased and has peaked in just this May, and she has gone after more people, it was time for me to make a stand. And I legit do hate doing this. I had enough fucking shit to deal with all the time. You guys don't know what I do in my life when I am not making videos. I keep many things private to myself, including cyberstalkers like you, Alice, to make sure that there are innocent people in the world free from people like you. Alicia in 2020 alone has mentioned me over 50 times. Now, in the grand scheme of things, that's not a lot, especially since we're in May now. But a good 60% of the messages that I just mentioned came from just last week. Not even a full week ago, she shit-talked me like this. I mean, it's just spam and not death threats, right? Well, for the most part, sure, but it's the fact that this has been going on incessantly is what got to me. I mean, you guys like numbers, sure, but you probably are more interested in the juicier stuff, right? What the messages say? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Why don't we do that? Why don't we go through every single message that Alicia has sent to me since April 2019 when she started harassing me. The earliest message that I could find on Alicia that was sent to me was on May 21st, 2019. I might sue Enter. There, I said it. This piece of conversation was posted to my DeviantArt profile page. This conversation has nothing to do with Enter. And this conversation was posted after John's video on her. So she is self-aware that if she contacted John, the FBI would step in. And yes, the FBI does more things than just track pedos for the record. 4 days later, we get the second comment from her. And I like how you talk shit about me in your journals as if I'm not reading any of them. Fuck off. Ignoring the fact that I didn't shit talk her in my journals, I don't give a shit that you read them or not because I literally do not give a shit about you. You're a person that stalks people, gives them gifts to make yourself look nice. Oh yeah, I remember you donating to John's Patreon. Luckily, I didn't have to deal with this shit, but this video is made so that I don't have to deal with any of this future shit. Because I feel like if I don't make this video, I will have to deal with this future shit. Then there's that whole idea of her posting her comments on works that have nothing to do with her. Remember this thumbnail from John on the Fairy Oddparents? I posted this thumbnail to my DeviantArt for those that wanted to see it and who made it. This drawing was made by my friend Ava B. This has nothing to do with Alicia, but Alicia decided to comment on the situation. So you're gonna be a bitch/asshole about this, aren't you? Fine. This trolling in question has nothing to do with Alicia or even mentioning her being an asshole. It's about fictional characters doing funny things. Heck, none of them are named Alice. Then Alicia commented a second time on the same deviation. You're just another editor to him. Fuck off. You know what? You're right. I am an editor to him. But I'm also a friend to him. We talk about our own private subjects and help others get through difficult times. But this one bothers me. No, not what's being said. Honestly, I don't give a crap. But it's the fact that this was said half a year apart. The first comment was made in June of 2019. The second one was made in this past January. Why would Alicia comment on the same thing like 6 months later just to leave another insult? Especially when the deviation no longer has any relevance. Alicia is deranged, a mental person. It really does legit piss me off when you take time out of your day to go after someone that you don't give a shit about, leaving insults while collecting people's tax money to help support your shitty behavior. Oh yeah, Alicia has no job and lives in the state of New Hampshire, and she collects taxpayers' money from Social Security. This doesn't make your state look good for the record. And I know a thing or two on money. I once had someone steal 3.2 grand from me from my bank account because of my first Louis rant. According to that person was mad at me because I had made fun of a rape victim. Ignoring the fact that I was raped the same year, I never once was intentionally making fun of a rape victim. Also, the video that I called Louis out on the first time was December 14th. Louis made her video 5 days later, and no one knew she was raped until that video. She could have made it at that time out of coincidence, or to do that to fuck me over, as she has called me a fucking weirdo in the past. But I'll give Louis Orchard credit here. At least she left me alone after I called out her bullshit in all 3 of my rants, which totaled to 7.5 hours long, by the way. Speaking of Louis Orchard, a friend of mine made this drawing for me, and Alicia seemed to have quite a sturdy comment. It's clear to me that Alicia is a fan of Louis Orchard with that tone. Another reason to hate Alicia, and I hate Louis because besides the 3 rants I made, she seems to advocate for violence. For example, in her most recent video on her top 10 best, worst, and blandest MLP episodes, when she called Dragon Drop the worst episode of Friendship is Magic, she went out of her way to insult the writers, saying that they seem to support pedophilia. Which, if you actually watch the episode, there is no pedophilia at all. Though Rarity was in the wrong, she was the one that had to fix her mistakes and Spike forgave her then. People are misreading Rarity's behavior. She's been greedy before, and she's very possessive of what she considers to be part of her life, whether it's her fashion or Spike, so this isn't out of character. She treats Spike like a favorite nephew. Having to face that he's growing up and won't be around as much wasn't easy for her to accept. When Twilight confronted her, she was quick to admit her mistake and make amends. You'll also notice that no Season 9 episode made it to Louis' best list, and the series finale was a planned episode, and this one the worst because Louis is a fucking idiot. Even if she saw MLP all now, she still didn't do that for Steven Universe, and you don't know that actually for Friendship is Magic. I talked about this in my recent Louis rant and how she believes that all bronies are pedophiles. In her last top 10 video, she literally states pedophiles were working at BronyCon, not realizing that she could be sued with that statement alone. I forgot to mention this in the final Louis rant, but Louis has stated in the past that she was a brony. So if I follow Louis' logic, then by her account, I would need to call the FBI on Cunty for being a pedophile. Which, if you had any brain cells and thought of it for 5 fucking seconds, I wouldn't have to. Also, by Louis' logic, she states that I shouldn't trust an abuser. And by that logic, I can't trust Louis, because she is abusive. Also, in reality, Louis is basically Queen Chrysalis and I am Starlight Glimmer, hence this one drawing right here. I'm surprised that Alicia has never commented on this one. Louis hates everything new and I love everything new. Louis has reported to currently have 365 Patreon supporters, or like 1 Patreon per day. I never understood why this many people had supported her, especially since Louis has frequently promoted abuse on her channel, including going after her former boss who did nothing wrong, which you could see in those D&D videos. And also Louis insults her own audience. In a way, Alicia gets similar support that Louis gets. But at least with Louis' Patreon, you can argue it's just idiots choosing to want to pay her. Alicia gets money from the government, or rather taxpayers. You see, Social Security is a tax that everyone pays, and it goes to people that have trouble getting a job, having a disability, and are old. Alicia falls under disability, but no one supports someone with disability when all they do is abuse others. In that video I mentioned, by the way, Louis once again shit talks Josh and other bronies like Silverquill. What does this relate to Alicia? Do you want to support anyone that does dipshit things like this? Probably not. Alicia's tactics and mannerisms are similar to Louis. The only difference is that Alicia goes after John and me, while Louis goes after Josh and anyone associated with Josh. You and Mr. Enter can suck a dick. Is that a good thing? I mean, I'm a pansexual gender fluid, so in a way that could be a compliment. Oh, I know it's not in this bitch's case. She's just paid that her imaginary boyfriend John won't love him. He made a video about me. I knew it. He really does love me. Be real, Alicia would have had that logic with John. I mean, you've been at this game for what, 25 months now? And half of those months were with me. In February of this past year, she wrote to me, "Hey, go fuck yourself 3 times. Well, they say the 3rd time's the charm. In all honesty, this trolling feels cute. Usually people like this write this statement once or twice, and then they leave me alone forever. But Alicia doesn't want to stop. She wants to get back at me harder. I mean, I worked for a former boyfriend. I hope you know that last statement was a joke. John was never Alicia's boyfriend and never will be for good reason." Alicia isn't the only person that has been trolling with me. A lot of trolling happened to me back in January when I was editing Nicorama. I got an incessant amount of comments telling me that the marathon was terrible. Was it? I honestly don't know. I do get this question from time to time on my thoughts towards this marathon, considering that I edited the whole thing. And ignoring the fact that I did talk about this before, my opinion, to simply put, was that I don't think this marathon was the greatest thing in the world. To quickly sum it up, the biggest problem in my eyes with Nicorama was the clear rushing through the project, on both John's end and my end. I go more in depth my thoughts on my DeviantArt, but let me get to the point. If you hated John's Nicorama marathon, that's fine. I can see why people both loved the marathon and hated the marathon. But if you think you have to keep going after John because you think being a bad critic equals being a bad person, you are an awful human being that needs help. In all honesty, if I knew if I was going to get this much shit from people while being John's editor, I honestly probably would have never been associated with him. In fact, a few times when Alicia has cyberstalked me, I have actually considered quitting working for Enter, just so that I could stay safe. Yeah, it got to that point at times, and I'd rather still be working on Enter's videos right now, instead of dealing with this shit. You all would have seen the next anime atrocity on The Simpsons, Bart vs. Itchy and Scratchy by now, had it not been for Alicia. You want to play this game? No, I do not. I never ever wanted to play this game. But you have been annoying enough to me that I have to play it, before things get as bad as John had to deal with you. I mean, you practice Wicca, which is witchcraft, so I guess anything goes. I should state for the record that I don't have this as bad as John, like nowhere close, but that's actually the reason why I'm making this video, because I don't want to have it as bad as John, and that's the reason why this video was made. It's funny that one of my biggest criticisms towards me is me being too similar to Enter, but can you blame me for when I get the same shitty problems that John goes through? Let me tell you the logic of how abusers work. Abusers will go after any single person that you know and make it hell for them. This also includes minors. On the internet, I do talk to minors, usually just on my Discord server. Most people nowadays, especially in the cartoon community, seem to have a Discord server for chill chatting. But a stalker usually will go after a person that is related to said person that they are stalking solely only because they are related. Now, I haven't contacted Crimson Mayan since he retired from being John's editor, and yes, Adam did stop editing for John. He stopped back in March of this year after he finished the top 10 worst cartoons of the 2010s list, and I have no idea if Adam had to deal with Alice at all. What I am getting at is Alice will go after people that associate with John. Other people have been affected as well, but more on that later. I am more than 4 years younger than John. Alicia is about 4 years older than John himself. That's like an 8-year gap between Alice and I. Sure, I'm 23 and she's like 31 or 32 or whatever, but imagine that Alice went after one of my friends solely because I'm their friend. Alicia has said in the past about wanting to see and post sexy images of herself and wants to see it of others. A joke or not, if you did this to a minor or asked them to see their dick or vagina or butt or whatever, then you would be committing child pornography, a crime of pedophilia. And usually every one image you have is like 1 year in prison. And that's me being generous. So 10 images is like 10 years. That's a major federal offense, and you will be a sex offender forever. Let me say for the record that I do not believe that Alicia is a pedophile, and I do not believe that she has any pedophilia intents. And if this video was to go anywhere, that is my statement. I only said something like that because there are stalkers in the real world that will do shit like that. But what I will say is that I think it's disgusting for Alicia to go after someone younger than her, only for the next person for her to go after, being me of course, to be even younger than the previous person. It's worth knowing that on one of the alternate Alicia accounts, the chic one, is that the gender that she gives herself is male, even though Alicia is clearly a female. That's something that cyberstalkers do. They lie about themselves to both trick other people in saying they're not who they are, or to make themselves look vulnerable. I mean, a man going after a woman and calling her bullshit out? That apparently doesn't go well in today's world. Or at least that's what I would have said if this was last year. Yeah, I changed my gender at the decade change and now classify myself as a female named Rebecca. Cyberstalkers will often try to drive fear down you to make you more vulnerable so that they feel like they have won. Other types of abusers do that as well. Has it worked for Alice? Kind of. I have actually considered quitting editing for John because of this. Not because of me being an asshole or John, but the fact that there's a fucking cyberstalker. Which, yes, is a reason why people often quit projects to avoid being harassed. A fucked up goal in my eyes is wanting to see innocent people fail and kill themselves. Hey, remember Etika, that nice guy who did reacts on YouTube most notably to Nintendo games like Super Smash Bros.? Well, that guy had to deal with a lot of shitty people telling him to kill himself. And guess what? Etika did kill himself, even though a lot of people loved him. Remember, telling someone to commit suicide is a felony in America. If you more or less tell someone to go kill themselves, you are technically responsible for someone's suicide. Enter thought it was fun. Did he? Usually he doesn't like this kind of shit. And he also hasn't communicated with Adam since Adam left. I asked John and he told me that this wasn't fun. Mr. Enter thinks it's over. It's not. You know, Alice, I'll give you that one. You are right on that matter and John is wrong. Because you keep playing the fucking game. I can't wait to see him fail. Alright, let's talk about this. Many people on the internet do hate John and I, but a lot more people actually have respect for us. I have made several friends by being more open on the internet. If I didn't learn to speak up or get better skills, I would be a lonely piece of shit. But I made something of myself. I gained friends on the internet. I gained over 56,000 subscribers on YouTube. And I got revenue. It's not much revenue, but I'm better than 1% of all YouTube technically speaking. You just want us to fail because your way is failing. I mean, your wish is kinda coming true. My other real job is closing down soon to make me jobless and not be able to afford anything. John keeps losing supporters on YouTube. He's been stagnant on subscriptions for about 3 months now. This is me even ignoring the fact that Alicia has gone after other people that were associated with John, like my former friend Emily, who was a former member of Growing Around. Emily has been removed from our life because we have moved on from her, even though she does come back every now and then. Oh, that's another thing that pisses me off. When people want to know your personal relationships with other people, even after you cut them out for your own personal reasons and wish to not discuss those matters in public, I originally attempted to make a video on Emily, but I didn't want to for her own privacy's sake. But now I'm mentioning her because Alice stalks Emily as well. Even though I cut ties with Emily, she doesn't deserve to be harassed. Alicia has called Emily a whore, and among other things that you can see here, Mr. Enter is an idiot. I mean, an idiot at what? It can't be at life since he knows a lot about the coronavirus and wants the lockdowns to end. It's women like you that make me regret that women should be allowed to express themselves. Huh? That sounds like a statement from a sexist man, not, a woman themselves. Then again, Alicia doesn't believe that I'm trans and that I'm tricking myself. Don't be a freak. Okay, don't be you is what I hear. Half my family is dead. We're poor and we all have AIDS. And I was born with glass bones and paper skin. Bite me. For the record, whether or not this is true, and this is more like guilt tripping, I don't give a shit about you if you have been shit to others. The last message from Alicia that we get to read for this video today that she sent to me is, he can't do anything. Are you sure about that? Really? Want to put your money on your life on that statement? I mean, John made a video on you with his stages. If you truly believe that, Alice, why don't you make a new account and contact John on DeviantArt? Go on, have fun with that. Stage 1 of me dealing with Alice was always the blocking. But now we're moving on to stage 2, which is what this video is. This video is stage 2. Just like John's video, I'm doing the same thing, because I'm done dealing with this shit. I really am. You contact me again, we go to stage 3. I get information on you. I contact the FBI on what you have been doing and to my friends as well as Social Security and whoever else is in charge in New Hampshire. And I mean any form of contact. If you say hi to me on any social media platform, I will contact the FBI. If you say fuck you or send me a death threat or other personal information, I will contact the FBI. If you even try to apologize to me, I will contact the FBI. I want you to shut up for the rest of your life and leave me alone. I have done nothing to you. What have I done to you that warrants you to harass me? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. At stage 4, I contact your family. And if we have to go to a new stage of stage 5, I contact you directly. Maybe try to get Chris Hansen or someone similar that deals with cyberstalkers. And the last thing that we talk about is people's reactions to this. I talked to some of my friends on this issue, and the response I get is, Alicia doesn't change. You know what? I'm going to disagree with you guys there and say that you are wrong. Alicia does change. It's called she changed her victim and found a new victim, being me. If she was still the same, she would keep making new alternate accounts to mess with John. And I don't need this, Alice. I deal with enough shit right now. Trying to find a new job during a crisis, family matters, depression. I have to deal with a lot of shit. And if you weren't harassing me and my friends, then you could have fixed your own damn problems, Alice. I'm sending this video to many of my friends in case something happens to me, or my computer. Or you can ignore all of this and try again. He can't do anything. Let's see how true that statement really is. To all of my people that are on my Discord follow me through this situation, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for helping me get through this. Thank you, Mr. Enter, or John Rosansky, if you prefer. Thank you, Grace, for also helping me talk through this. And thank you, Hope, especially, for also helping me talk through the situation. Thank you, Jackson, for also helping me get through this situation as well as everyone else on my Discords. There's so many people to name, and I've been stressed for a good long time, probably because of this whole strain. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for helping me get through this. This last part is for you, Alicia. You're probably watching this. I know you are. You stalked my account. So let's go through this again. Stage 1 was the blocking. This is stage 2, the video. You do not want stage 3. I contact the FBI. I contact law enforcement. I contact Social Security. Everyone. I expect you to you're gonna ignore this, or you're probably like, oh darn, find another victim. Unfortunately, this is what a lot of things happen like. I am done with you. You contact me again, you are in big trouble, major trouble. I don't care what disabilities you have, you are worthless to me. Stage 4, I contact your family. And if we have to do stage 5, you and me are having a personal talk with the FBI at the same time. Get the fuck out of my life!